One side note on Michelle Obama, can we just note how overrated she is? And like all the hype around Michelle Obama, oh, she's going to run for office. And she's just, I don't want to get into the aesthetics of all of it, but the presentation of her podcast is terrible.
Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama was a man before she died.
Was that a joke? I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, but the way she said it wasn't like jokey. She was like, oh, come on, everybody knows Michelle Obama's the man. Like, remember that?
Yeah, like, would Big Mike kill you for that?
This time, it took Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk less than 5 minutes to turn Michelle Obama's polished image into a political punchline. One came swinging with podcast-powered honesty. The other with college debate energy on Red Bull together. They cracked the facade like it was a gluten-free cookie at a Texas BBQ. Michelle's usual cool. Nowhere to be found. What did they say that left her legacy looking like a motivational poster in a thunderstorm? Oh, this takedown's got receipts, sarcasm, and zero chill. She's just whining all the time, and she's complaining. Rogan said, right again.
Just whining all the time, and she's complaining. Right, again, I'm not trying to look at people's looks. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying the whole aura of it, to use a Gen Z term, is terrible. It's negative. It's just kind of her lamenting, and then she's obviously there's problems with her daughters and all that. I don't want to get into.
Michelle Obama's PR team must be running on fumes by now, because somehow they still think polishing a statue made of contradictions will make it less hollow. Imagine trying to sell the image of a grassroots loving, kale growing, hope preaching, mother of all wokeness icon while also living like the empress of a Whole Foods themed Versailles. It's like hosting a podcast about minimalism from the back of a gold-plated Bentley. Sponsored by Gucci. Good to see everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal. Right before World War III.
See everybody having a good time. The country's almost back to normal before World War III. COVID was just so strange. We lost a lot of people during COVID, and most of them are still alive. Yeah. Before COVID, I would have told you that vaccines are the most important invention in human history. After COVID, I'm like, I don't think we went to the moon. I think Michelle Obama's got a dick. I think Pizzagate is real. I think there's direct energy weapons in Antarctica.
Speaking of podcasts, Joe, Rogan didn't even have to lift a kettlebell to throw shade. Just one eye roll, a raised eyebrow, and a muttered, "What are we doing?" was enough to crumble Michelle's brand like a stale vegan cookie left in a Malibu mansion pantry, while the rest of the media tiptoes around her like she's Queen Beyoncé's more serious twin. Rogan simply exists and Michelle's contradictions collapse like a TED Talk built on vibes. And book deal Charlie Kirk
is calling out Oprah and Michelle Obama for hypocritical speeches at the DNC Watch.
She's up there talking about income inequality. Like, hey, lady.
Yeah, I know.
You're rich as Like, how is that equal? And also, when Michelle Obama was saying, you know, I think she was saying her mother or grandmother was always suspicious of people who took more than they needed.
Yes.
Like, you are worth so much money.
Take more than they need. The Obamas have 4 mansions.
Meanwhile, is over here, rubbing his hands like a raccoon spotting a dropped hot dog in a parking lot. Say what you want about the guy, and let's be honest. We all have, but he knows political theater when he sees it. And Michelle Obama, fresh off her 5th memoir, 4th documentary, and 3,000th magazine cover titled something like, "Why I'm Still Relatable," just served up a performance worthy of a Razzie. Let's not forget, this is the same Michelle who told us with her signature solemn, slow blink sincerity that she hates politics moments before launching a nationwide voter registration campaign with enough balloons to choke a Macy's parade. And while she was at it, she gave us yet another Netflix doc about being misunderstood. Sis, misunderstood by who? The gardeners in Martha's Vineyard.
But we built up on the right. Michelle Obama is going to be the hardest person ever to run against. And her book sold so many copies. And my goodness, you want to talk about the most overrated political hype of a generation? It would go to Michelle Obama. Anyway, that's just a side note that's been on my mind for a while.
I'm happy to make fun of her look. It's very strange. It was Benny Johnson who dubbed that one hairstyle the Stegosaurus.
I'm not getting into that.
She 3 bumps on the back, Stegosaurus. It's very...
Between the wine glass gripping emotional monologues about how hard it was to live in the White House with 24/7 staff, private chefs, designer clothes, and a security detail that could stop time itself, Rogan lost it. He flat out called it. This woman talks like she built the White House with her own hands, then had to airburn it to survive. And Kirk, oh, he lit up like someone handed him a copy of rules for radicals bound in Constitution leather. The man practically started live streaming a PowerPoint on how Michelle Obama is America's most successful brand since Tide Pods. Let's talk about her latest hardship. How fame has made her feel invisible. Yes, you heard that right. The woman who could sneeze and land a Vogue cover says she feels unseen. At this point, it's like watching a Kardashian complain about not being taken seriously at a philosophy convention. Joe Rogan had one question. Does she think invisibility is what happens when she puts on sunglasses and walks into a Whole Foods with security? Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, called it peak liberal privilege. When Michelle Obama cries invisibility, the rest of America wonders if they need to be rich, famous, and Oprah's best friend to finally disappear from their day jobs. And you'd think, maybe just maybe someone in her orbit would say, hey Michelle, maybe skip the part where you compare your life struggles to, say, literally everyone else's. But no, she gets another Netflix deal, another book tour, another arena packed full of sobbing white women, paying for $100 a seat to hear about how difficult it was to wear a cardigan on The View.
For the
Oh,
women,
I remember.
like,
It's our little secret.
Yeah,
Yep,
this is what they think of. This is what they think of Republican women.
That. Of course. I mean, look, first of all, just like the embedded kind of just implied chauvinism that all of our relationships in the Trump world are like we tell our wives exactly what to do. It's like, okay, no, we all have agency, okay? Secondly, I just have to comment on this. She's really lost a step. Just embedded in her language is like she's really let Donald Trump break.
Let's zoom in on the whole healthy food legacy, remember? When Michelle Obama single-handedly declared war on public school vending machines, kids from coast to coast opened their lunch boxes to find kale chips, sadness, and a note that read, because Michelle said so. She managed to do what decades of cafeteria pizza and expired milk couldn't unite students in. Pure hatred. Joe Rogan recalled the time he bit into one of those Michelle-endorsed snack reforms and described it as cardboard dipped in disappointment. Charlie Kirk still claims it was all a plot to create a generation of malnourished kids to fight socialism. And yet somehow, she remains cloaked in this mystical aura of infallibility. The media practically throws rose petals at her feet every time she walks across a stage. In her latest $3,000 I'm Just Like You outfit, Rogan summed it up best. She could wear a swan carcass to an awards show, and Vanity Fair would call it revolutionary modesty. Then there's her constant waffling between being done with politics and dropping hints so heavy they leave craters in the earth about maybe, possibly if the wind is right running for president. The woman can't walk into a room without someone whispering Madam President, and she lets them. At this point, teasing a run is her version of selling merch. Charlie Kirk wasted zero time calling it the longest political striptease in history. Every few months, Michelle pops up in a tailored pantsuit, says something vaguely leadership why like America needs healing, then disappears into a book tour like a political Bigfoot. Meanwhile, Rogan asked the real question, if she's not running, why is she constantly giving speeches with the emotional tone of a State of the Union?
She used to have, don't you agree? She used to present a lot better and with like more zest and more energy and more intensity. It's like this Michelle Obama just looks broken. And she's kind of doing the wine mom thing, and she's just kind of like, I'm just kind of meandering through life. Anyway, I'm not upset about
populated
it.
Populated like every 30 seconds with, what about me?
Let's also unpack Michelle Obama's weird obsession with being the national mother figure. Remember when she said she was everyone's mom? Rogan nearly choked. Lady, my mom never gave me a lecture with a lighting team and a podium. Kirk went even further. I didn't elect her. She's not my mom. And if she tells me to eat quinoa again, I swear I'll declare independence. It's the same playbook every time. Step 1. Drop a vague comment about the soul of the nation. Step 2. Post a carefully lit photo with a quote like, "When they go low, I rub it in my line of organic hand lotions." Step 3. Cry on national television about being misunderstood, while launching another global initiative with zero policy specifics and maximum Instagram aesthetic. Meanwhile, her husband's been gliding through post-presidency life like a mix between Jay-Z and a TEDx speaker, and she's out here pretending she's struggling to be seen. Girl, you are on stage with Beyonce. You don't need visibility, you need perspective. Joe Rogan pointed out the cosmic irony of someone who literally lived in the most secure, most photographed house in America claiming to feel invisible. Maybe she means she feels invisible to real people. He joked. Because regular folks are too busy trying to survive $6 gas and student loans to care about your Target shopping experience. Charlie Kirk didn't miss a beat either. He pointed out the hypocrisy of Michelle Obama acting like a humble servant of democracy, while also attending private yacht parties with Silicon Valley overlords. Nothing says power to the people like sipping champagne next to Jeff Bezos on a boat the size of Rhode Island.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my God.
That's pretty funny how she said it.
Okay, we all.
Let's not forget Michelle Obama's latest children's book about hope and kindness, which is roughly the literary equivalent of handing out glitter glue while your mansion catches fire. Rogan said it best. There's nothing wrong with optimism, but maybe stop preaching it like it's a TED Talk while flying private to Aspen. Meanwhile, Kirk argued that it's all emotional fluff, designed to make people feel things without actually doing anything.
Michelle Obama and Harris. Harris comes back as the vice president. Michelle Obama's the president. We get a double dose of diversity.
They'll win.
Let's go,
They'll,
champ.
They'll win. And then who's on the Republican side? DeSantis?
Trump and DeSantis. They have to make a super team. It's the only way they win.
Interesting.
That's the only way they win.
So let me be as honest and clear as I possibly can. Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He has had more than enough time to prove that he can do the job, but he is clearly in over his head. He cannot meet this moment. He simply cannot be who we need him to be for us. It is what it is.
Michelle Obama has become a walking, talking Pinterest board of inspirational quotes, designer labels, and curated humility. She's the human equivalent of that Instagram post that says live, laugh, love while holding a diamond-encrusted yoga mat. Rogan didn't even need to insult her directly. All he had to do.
This beauty who'd ever walked the face of the earth, then left to write her best-selling memoir for which she was paid millions, then signed a Netflix deal for which she was paid millions, is giving speeches for which she's getting paid almost $1 million per speech, has two daughters who went to Harvard and USC. The two of them together, I haven't even counted her husband's riches. They're definitely billionaires by now. The house in Martha's Vineyard, which is, I think, $20 million out on the yachts of David. What happened to me? Why doesn't anyone think about what happened to me during my... I'm enraged. I'm almost speechless at how ridiculously out of...
Was this the absurdity of her contradictions, saying one thing while living another? Kirk brought receipts, timelines, direct policy impacts of her Let's Move initiative, and how it somehow ended up costing schools more for food that kids literally threw in the trash. Michelle Obama's entire post-White House brand is built on being deeply emotional while remaining completely untouchable. She cries on cue, says she's been hurt, ignored, judged, but the second anyone raises a real critique,